Jackson. Got my man Todd Stroger in the building. And Todd, we are
We could
talking.
go a whole week and just do Stevie Wonder.
We could do
We
because
really,
Stevie Wonder is
really
a
could.
musical genius.
Yes, he is.
He is a musical genius. I'm telling y'all, don't mess with Stevie Wonder. But Todd, the other thing is don't mess with Kim Fox. But you know what, Todd?
I was saying while you were gone
Okay, talk to me.
that I like Kim Fox. I support Kim Fox, but there comes a point when you have to sit back and take an assessment of what is going on. And sometimes, even if your pride has to be put aside, you have to do is it a mea culpa?
Hmm.
I took French.
Was that French?
No, that was Latin.
Okay.
That's what I said. And you have to say, you know what? We need to change our strategy. Uh,
Or our political consultants.
well, no, actually both.
Detroit can't help you. I'm
And-
just telling you.
and
Detroit does not have really good.
I can't speak to them well because I stepped away a little bit. But at this point, what needs to be done is she has to go out and say, you know what, my fault.
Now, let me ask a question. The second that she says my fault, does everybody jump on her and say, aha, we got you. We
Yeah.
knew it.
Yeah, but it's like you kill it this way, or do we just keep on?
Just let it kill you.
Yeah, and slowly but surely. And if you do it this way, as it's going on now, people's faith in you erodes because it's like, okay, as we were talking before, the banging on the drum, the drip, 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 the slow thing. She should come out and say, and since I know I'm not on the payroll, what she should say is, this is my fault. The way this should have been handled is I should have called one of the state's attorneys from another county and handled this case.
I should have never took Tina Chen's call.
Well,
I
yes. I mean, I don't
Tina-
know. I didn't know that part. I knew she talked to somebody. I don't know who it was.
Tina Chen.
Okay. She never should have taken her call. But even if she did take a call, she should have completely gotten it out of this county and had another prosecutor handle it. And even if that didn't happen, she needs to say, I should not have let that man leave the courtroom without standing up and saying, I am sorry for what I did.
I can see that. I think Kim is a victim of what I talk about all the time, the narrative being hijacked by the millennials and social media, right? So I think that somewhere in this process we've forgotten that the job of the state's attorney is to lock up criminals, and there's crime going on. And it's like, I'm going to tell you, Todd, I think that there's a pileup going on. Like, I think that there's blood in the water, and the sharks are starting to circle.
She's famous.
Did you hear about old kick 'em in the shins?
What
Do you
did
know
she
who
do?
kick 'em in the shins is?
Oh, yes.
That is old Susanna Mendoza. She has, first of all, I think, this is how I feel about, let me back up. I'm not going to hold this tight. So first of all, Susanna Mendoza, who in my estimation should never, ever, never, ever get another endorsement by the Democratic Party. She should have a candidate run against her because she went against every single, if there was a bus, she was looking for people to throw under the bus in this mayor's race. So now, after being summarily dismissed and relegated back to Springfield, where she's thrown all of her friends under, she is no longer the chosen woman of color. I think she can be the comptroller until we can find somebody to run against her. But she even got in on this, on the Kim Fox. So apparently John Quarters Boyle, and if you don't know John Quarters Boyle, this is a guy who during while he was working at the Illinois Tollway Authority, stole $4 million in quarters. Think about that.
That's a lot of quarters.
$4 million in quarters. He got convicted, but he's back in the game. Apparently, Susanna Mendoza saw him involved in a hit and run, and and videotaped it.
A literal hit and run?
A literal hit and run of vehicles. So she taped it and recorded it, and the state's attorney's office gave him a sentence that did not require jail time. And Susanna Mendoza decides that she wants to jump in and talk about how poorly the state's attorney's office dealt with this situation. Now, Susanna Mendoza, Eazy-E addressed you perfectly. Let me tell you how. This is. You know what? I don't think I could say it better than Easy E. Titus, could you tell Easy E what we think Susanna Mendoza needs to do?
Shut the up. Get out of here.
That's how we feel. That is exactly how we feel. But, Todd, when you were talking about the reassessment, and sitting back and evaluating, you were talking about saying, hey, Kim having a mea culpa. According to Chicago Tonight last night, here's what Chicago Tonight said was happening behind the scenes.
Supporting her again. I heard rumors that perhaps Tony Preckwinkle, who wants to have an influence on this office, might be looking for someone else to run for that office, or perhaps Kim Foxx isn't going to run again. Frank Spielman of the Sun-Times asked Joe Ferguson, the IG, whether he would run for state's attorney. He didn't answer that question. So kind of left it open, and there's also been rumors of Jerry Joyce, the guy that ran for mayor.
So here's what we know. We know that there's going to be candidates that are going to run against Kim. Right? We know that.
Right.
Now people are assessing whether Kim can withstand that, and then should she be the candidate. Todd, do you think there's any truth to the rumor that Tony Preckwinkle could be potentially considering someone else to run for this spot?
Yes.
Wait, you think it's possible?
Oh, I think it's possible.
I mean, she stood by Joe Barrios to the end. Maybe that's why it's possible.
Well, I think that there was a different relationship with Joe Barrios. Joe Barrios, in essence, stepped back out of the chairmanship and said she should be the chairman. And even when he was the chairman, he hired her guy to be the executive director.
Look, let's talk about it all when we come back. It's the talk of Chicago. Is it possible that there could be a conspiracy right now afoot to take out our own Kim Foxx from inside? Y'all, I don't know how I feel about that. My man said his head hurts, my head hurts even worse. We'll talk about it all when we come back. Thoughts, Todd, thoughts.
I think I spilled my guts while you were gone. Yeah, I mean, she's in trouble. She's got to do something to put an end to this discussion. This discussion has to stop. So, in my opinion, she needs to say, I dropped the ball on this case, where he did do community service, and that would be a fitting thing for him, but he should have been taken to the courtroom where he had to state his guilt in front of the public. And that didn't happen.
She messed up. Like, the whole point of them saying that they underestimated, this is what I told you. I told you this again, the millennials fucking people up. So she thought that by releasing Jussie Smollett, people would be like, oh, this is a good thing, right? Like, it's criminal justice reform enacted, and you get the celebrity movie star power of it all. I get to say, look, 16 charges is excessive. Well, can I tell you what? If she had anybody on the ground, there was nobody in Chicago that I thought didn't want Jussie Smollett to get cooked. Everybody was like, did you really just come here and lie on us like that? Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not who you fall on your sword for. And I'm just telling y'all now, if Kim Foxx take an L for this, Jasmine Turner said it best. Empire should not be welcome in Chicago. Period. Like all of y'all. Terrence Howard, Taraji, I know all y'all love all these mugs. But if they let this... Okay. You like both of us can't leave. Oh.
No, I'm just opening the door. I'm not going. Yeah, but you know what? They have to. What her office has to. What she has to do. I mean, there's politics involved in this office. She's an elected official. There's the politics of this, and I never like to suggest anybody get fired. But
man, motherfuckers need to be getting fired left and right. I'm telling you.
she got bad advice.
That's that progressive bullshit advice.
There's got to be a whole bunch of people in the office who've been there forever, right? Her advice should come from them, and I mean, hey, I'd say it, the first assistant, now that I met him, I hate to bash him, but
He clearly was not a Kim Fox, right?
right. What he should have told her was, this is too hot. You need to remove this from the office. This is see the problem Kim Fox has is that she thought of this as her as a state's attorney. What she's got to remember is that everything in that office is Kim Fox. There is no removal from herself from anything that goes on in that office. So she not just had to remove herself from this conversation, she needed to remove the whole office from the conversation. So without going to, we're going to say LaSalle County and ask the LaSalle County state's attorney to take this case, she's put herself in harm's way, and we see what's going on. She's being shot with arrows every time she turns around. But I know a firm.
We can help you with this.
That's right. But so she's got to do something now to just put an end, and then work on her image for the rest of the election cycle. Because we are in the election cycle now.
I'm saying like this. He may have people, but and they could go after her, but let me just tell you, if you know that you got, like, there's a lot of kids that work at the state's attorney that go to St. Ignatius.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh,
so think about when you got to pay tuition with no income. Man, I tell y'all what. And it's like, they can cook her, but they cooking her already.
Oh, jeez. She's getting brown.
Superstition all day.
I don't know any of the 7 movements.
You are tuned into the Top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger.
All right, I got the historical doesn't mean anything fact of the day.
Go ahead.
Stevie Wonder wrote this song for Jeff Beck, who was a famous guitar player, and he played on Stevie's song, and he asked Stevie to write him a song. He wrote this song. Barry Gordy said, "No, this is too good. You got to keep it." At that point, you couldn't tell him, but he was like, "Please, man, please, you keep it," and he did.
Ah, there it is.
And he was right, because Sybil said,
Superstition all way.
Actually,
Hey,
he could have let Jeff do it, and he could have done it, and they both would have. He still would have made a ton of money.
who the heck is Jeff?
Jeff Beck. He's like
Like the group Beck. Is that the guy from Beck?
No, he's much older. He's like older than me, I think. He would be like Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page
But not.
and no, I mean,
Was he really good?
guitars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check him out. He must be super famous. All right, y'all. So, you know what? Y'all have in these calls and everything have changed the dynamic of this show this week. Because I'm going to throw a couple more things in there and we're going to continue this conversation. So, Todd, I'm going to hold you responsible for this. Todd and Kim Bennett. I'm holding both of y'all responsible. I'm holding Todd Stroger and Kim Bennett, Everett Rand. I'm holding all y'all responsible right now.
Well, you know what? I am happy to be in that company.
Okay.
That was high cotton.
Okay, so
Now some of their money falls to me. That'd be even better.
So Kim Bennett, Todd Stroger, Everett Rand, I'm holding all y'all accountable. Because this is what happened. Y'all told me that we should give Tony Preckwinkle a chance. Right?
Right.
And after we saw this 20-point this 20 precinct out of 2069 mollywhopping, I opened my paper yesterday. First of all, I hear this rumor about Tony Preckwinkle potentially looking for a replacement for Kim Foxx. That's business. But then I open up the paper to find out that what is the single most important issue at the Cook County Democratic Party regarding criminal justice reform? The ability to slate judges.
Yeah.
That ability rested and resided in the hands of Ed Burke for years and years and years and years. Well, I checked out the Sun-Times yesterday, and my boy Mark Brown writes a story that says that Tony Preckwinkle has decided that Ed Burke will no longer be in charge of that. And guess what she did?
What?
She put 3 white guys in charge. 3! Not 1, but 3 white guys. So she went and got Don Harmon from Oak Park,
Yeah.
progressive.
Yep. Yep.
She went and got
St. Ignatius Grand.
Bob Martwick.
Yep.
Bob Martwick, who started the whole train of the Lori Lightfoot when he went to go snap on it, and it turned into a viral video that had everybody like, what the hell? And then, you know what, I can't front on this one. I like Dean Maragos. I like Dean Maragos.
Okay.
Dean is my guy, too.
You know, Dean's father was the state senator over at our ward way back when.
So, you know, Dean goes way back. So I ain't tripping on Dean. But out of 3 picks, bro, like, like, not one Negro, not one.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Like, so, for judges, though. So, right now, even as...
I'm going to guess, and I don't know, the system sounds like it whole change. There used to be a chair and a vice chair. I'm going to guess it's the kind of vice chair who's black.
No, those 3 are the people.
That's it, huh?
1, 2, 3.
Wow.
1, 2, 3. They are in charge of slating. Now, what's even more interesting is I believe that this is the setup. You ready? I don't think you're ready for this.
Probably not, because I'm still, you know...
You still
reeling from
shot.
the last one.
Right, because I'm just telling y'all. Y'all told me she was going to come back black. So, Kim did reach out to me and say she'll be on the show, so we're going to get her, because I'm going to ask her about these judges. But I believe that this is also the beginning of the setup for the disenfranchisement, the potential unslating of a sitting Supreme Court justice.
Oh, you think so?
So, if you don't put a black person on that committee, knowing that there is already a plot afoot to take out P. Scott Neville because none of the white folks like the way that he rules in favor of black folks. Remember, this is the one guy who pushed back on the Jason Van Dyke sentence when it went to the Supreme Court.
Right.
Well, so black people understand how important this position is.
Man, you know what? I hate to interrupt, but I just really thought about what you said earlier. So we're talking about where's is it Niles? What is Maragos?
Maragos is New Trier Township.
Yeah,
New Trier. Richest, whitest. Martwick, where? North Side white.
Yeah.
Right?
And who was the last one? Don Harmon?
And Don Harmon, Oak Park.
Oak Park, yeah.
So now think about that.
That's interesting.
That's not interesting. That's effed up. And then we now have a...
might be listening. I can't say.
You know what? I got 30 seconds. Look. We have a Supreme Court judge that is being challenged by 2 black people. He's sitting. He's being challenged by 2 black people, and the white folks up north like the challenger. What better way to do this than to blame it on the white folks? Look, y'all, when we come back, I'm about to... You see, Todd just had to sit back because the conspiracy is on, and we are watching it play out in front of us. They could change Supreme Court, state's attorney, all in one fatal swoop in this election, and we would be completely out of the criminal justice system with the exception of Kwame Raoul. It's the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back after news, traffic, and the weather. Why you look like that, man?
Man, you're trying to give me a hard time.
Huh?
You're trying to give me a hard time. Well, luckily, my life isn't all politics, but it still bothers me.
Ain't that crazy, though? Think about, how do you do that? How in everything that happened, how do you do that?
I don't know how you do that. It doesn't seem to make any sense. I mean, especially after you saw how that election was. I don't get that. I'm trying to think who was. I mean, I don't know.
Think Howard Brookins wanted to do that forever. He's a lawyer, right? Like,
That's right.
You don't put no black body gets on there. You know that the white people have already started working against Scott Neville.
Right.
right? So now you got 2 black candidates in there, plus Shelley, plus Jesse Ruiz, and you got 3 white boys that's running the slate.
Well, this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong, but I do believe that the city black committeemen will get together and make some noise about this. I cannot see how they can let this go. Because, I mean, Rod Sawyer's a lawyer. Well, Leslie's a lawyer, but Leslie's too close to Tony, if you ask me.
So is Rod.
Ms. Howard.
You can't get it though. If you was in a runoff, you ain't running jack. You barely won your own awards. You ain't winning no judges. Sorry, y'all don't care.
Howard would be my choice.
Howard would have been great because he gon' think about what that means for slating. Think about when Don Harmon picks the judges and the black judges. You think he picking anybody that's really concerned about what your issues are?
That's when that merit selection thing comes in. What schools to go to and all that kind of stuff. As we all know, one of the reasons why black people don't get a lot of things is because it's easy for white people to say, I don't know any black people. You know? When I was an investment banker, literally, I'm an investment banker, Harvey School District, I think it was 152.5 at the time. The whole board is black. The business manager was a Polish white guy who probably was from way back when, really. And he was about to retire. And he is trying to give the bond business to a white banker from First Chicago. The board says, we want to see a minority. They just said, we want to see a black face. He said, I went out and couldn't find any. Well, they knew that wasn't true. So one of the board members called me, and he called a few other people. We went in, we won the thing, but it was easy for him to say, I don't know any black people. He wasn't lying. But he wasn't searching either. And we don't always run in the same circles. And it's not a good idea. It makes no sense here. Matter of fact, I'm surprised it's not a black, a white, and a Hispanic.
Wouldn't that make the most sense? What is going on with this phone? God. It's too hot, y'all. This is ridiculous.
I don't know. Till I reach the high ground. No.
I'm about to start Facebook karaokeing, y'all.
Hey, you know what? One problem is.
Hold on, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
so, just it looks to me as if Tony Franklin has the same problem that Kim Fox has. When you are the leader, you have to have some people who have some political horse sense around you, who can advise you. You can't do everything by yourself. I learned when I make my own decisions, it's tough because you're sinking and swimming by yourself, and you can't always see the larger picture because everybody's got some kind of prejudice. You need enough voices where you can look at the whole thing and say, oh, okay, that actually makes sense. I didn't see that coming. And I don't think either one of them have that right now.
Joe Walsh. Is he on the phone?
Is it 8:30 or 8:05? He's so man, this would be great. All right, we're gonna have to actually start that. Let's see what we're gonna call it. We'll call it. Oh, that's what we call things. We're gonna call it the trading group. We'll call it Sports Sense Incorporated. How to make?
We'll save your ass.
Yeah, right.
You don't have your ass getting chewed? You don't have much left?
We'll bring you a pillow and some of that gel stuff that goes in your butt.
Ooh, yikes. No. TD Jakes?
That's after. The thing Tennille set up.
What time?
8:20.
Is it calling in or coming in?
Call. Well, no, he's coming in.
All right. I'll do it.
That should be Joe.
Todd, how does that happen though? How does she pick all white boys? Like, I don't even think that you can do that in the real world. Like, I just don't even know. Like, I don't even think, like,
This is what I think. I think what happens is sometimes
Joe is on.
sometimes the personality is too great and everyone's afraid to talk. The emperor is running around naked and everybody's afraid to tell. That's what I think.
but I'm saying, like, after everything that just happens, like, where's the common sense in that? Like, I mean, seriously. All right, let's do the
It's
phone.
probably more of loyalty to people who
They didn't win their precincts.
I understand, but
She picked people. Saturday night. I'm sorry about quality.
black all right. Yeah, that's what she said to you. Brum, 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 brum.
You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to my co-host, Todd Stroger in the building. Gotta say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the building, as well as super producer Sonia Tompkins. And you know what? Filling in admirably for the musical conductor is my man Titus. So y'all, we are at the top of the hour. And y'all know today at midnight, every midnight Thursday morning, the latest edition of Uncomfortable Conversations drops. It is the podcast starring me, Maze Jackson, the black guy, and Joe Walsh, the white guy. And we have conversations that black and white people just are not supposed to be having. Joe Walsh, are you there? What's up to my white homie in the North Barrington suburbs? How you feeling this morning, man?
I'm good, Mason. I'm excited because episode 7 that's up right now could be one of our best. You said some amazing things about what President Trump ought to do if he wants to get more of the black vote. It's a good podcast. We get into some good things.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, Joe. I know I'm not supposed to say this, but President Trump tickles me, man. He really makes me laugh. And this whole thing about dropping the illegal aliens off in sanctuary cities, we talked about that yesterday. I think it's a brilliant idea, except I live in a damn sanctuary city.
Hey, people who listen to the podcast now, that's up, uncomfortable-conversations.com, they're going to be amazed, Maze. They're going to be amazed, because they might find out that Trump tickles you more than he tickles me.
That is funny, because I'm going to tell you, I said that I think that if Donald Trump offered reparations to the black community, the Democrats would be done. Because I'm telling you, all it takes is a 10-point swing. 10-point swing, and it's over for the Democratic Party. Do you think, Joe, but you don't think that Donald Trump would give us reparations?
If Trump offered reparations, he would lose every single one of his voters in his base. Gone. He'd be dead. Done. Can't do it, Mason.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Joe. I think that I still say that I want a meeting with President Trump. I do. I'm not scared to talk to power. I did say I would do it on Facebook Live, though, so they couldn't call me a sellout afterwards. But I'm going to tell you, that was a good one. Joe, what else did we talk about yesterday? You know what? Sometimes I was thinking about that cannabis, but that's definitely not what we talked about yesterday.
Again, the whole illegals in the sanctuary cities was a big one. We got into the whole race issue again. It's really interesting, Maze, because you and I have been doing this for 7 weeks now, and I'm still getting a little bit of grief from my people that why am I talking to Maze Jackson, and you don't sound like the crazy Tea Party guy that we love, Joe, and I know, Maze, you still get some of that,
yeah.
But I just think it's cool. You and I are talking every week. It's good stuff.
I'm going to tell you it's great stuff, and you got to get it. You can download the podcast. First of all, you go to uncomfortable-conversations.com. There you can either listen right there, but I would tell you subscribe. Go to iTunes, go to Google Play, or go to Spotify and subscribe to the podcast, and you will hear Joe and I get into it. But I'm going to tell you, Joe, I think people are looking for a fight as much more than they are. Sometimes people are looking for a fight, and when they come and they leave, they realize that we had a pleasant conversation, whether we agreed or disagreed. But I think, like I said before, if we can get the language right, we can figure out more things that we agree on than disagree on, and it can move our country forward.
Bingo. Never sleep on the couch, Maze. We always settle our differences before we go to bed. That's you and me, brother.
There it is, except for you sleep in the bed with Helene, I'll sleep in the bed with Carrie. I'm not into this third bathroom, all this newfangled world that we're in. But I'm going to tell you, you are my homeboy, and you know what? We are going to keep doing this thing. Joe, tell people how they can find you every day.
Follow me on Twitter at Walsh Freedom. Otherwise, go to walshfreedom.com. I'm on AM 560 every day from 5 to 7. Thank you, my brother.
Hey, my brother, I appreciate you. I'll see you next week. That is my man, Joe Walsh, founder of the Tea Party. Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you. Can I tell you something, though? It's funny when I go out to tape. It's like, so the people that know me at AM 560 The Truth, they're like, Maze, what's up, homie? What's up? You know, all the white, once the white people get comfortable, they comfortable. But like the people who ain't used to seeing me there, they be looking like, what the hell is he doing? Like, you should see, it's funny to watch the dynamic of people who are friendly and speak and people who move to the other side of the hallway. It is an amazing dynamic, but I'm gonna tell you.
I can imagine.
I mean, it's like, and you want to
take this stuff very seriously.
When you want to see some faces.
I think being a conservative or not being a conservative.
I'm gonna tell you, and those conservatives take it real, real deep.
My buddy is Dan Proft.
I like Dan Proft. Dan Proft is one of the smartest dudes that I know. I'm gonna tell you the thing that Dan Proft said to me one time, and that's what hooked me on just being cool with Dan was. He said, so let me get this right. You got the highest unemployment. You got the worst schools. It's really not. You got the highest crime rates. And you vote Democrat 100% of the time. How's that working out for you? Right? But the thing that Joe and I talk about all the time is, it's like the Democrats don't have anything for us, but they ain't saying some of the crazy stuff that the Republicans are saying. I was like, that's why you got to adjust that language. But all right, y'all. Yeah, I say Proft is arrogant, but if I could get people to give me millions of dollars to forward my political agenda, I'd be do that. But think about this. Think about Dan Proft and Joe Walsh. You know what? They have wealthy white donors who will help them get their message out. That invest in them.
I don't know if there's such a word, but yes.
Think about that. And they spread their messages across the world, across the country. And yesterday we was on the phone and we couldn't think of one thing black people would save. Pay their own money to save.
No, couldn't.
See, that's how we damned in politics. All right, y'all. I'm going to move on. You know what, though, Todd? So, I'm really concerned about this. I'm really concerned about Preckwinkle appointing 3 white guys as the head of the Judicial Committee when we know that there is a plot afoot to undermine our current Supreme Court Justice P. Scott Neville.
Right.
So like if you got a black person on the board and they understand what's going on, they like, white boys, y'all not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, sorry, and they'll go tell.
Right.
What'll happen is, and they'll go tell all the black people, and the black people be in the room like, all right, what y'all thought y'all was doing? But if you make it an all-white committee, then they do it and they present you the slate, and you ain't got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
Todd, I was just thinking we could lose a Supreme Court judge and a state's attorney if we don't get this thing together.
My dad was he was the vice chair of that judicial committee, so he had a voice in the room about black people because they always trying to leave us out, and somebody's got to stand up and say, what about Judy Mitchell or whoever the person of the day was, because if you didn't, it wasn't coming up.
Right, because the white folks, like, I'm telling you, like when they was trying to do Kerry, right, it was the white people got together and they got in the room and they was like, all right, this is what we going to do.
Right.
This is how we going to play this.
Uh-huh.
What we're going to do is we're going to have a slating. And then they went and got Lou Lang. And Lou Lang, everybody looks at Lou Lang, flowery, and he gets up and he says his thing. Right? And then he tries to pass a motion to slate 2 candidates and exclude Kerry. Right? Because they was mad at, this is when Tony Preckman was mad at Kerry, right? When she was trying to do stuff. So they try to sneak and unseat it. And then that's when Alderman Anthony Bill was like, oh, point of order.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all just try to put 2 people on the slate and not do the third person? We all came here for Kerry.
Right.
We ain't here for these white boys.
Uh-huh.
And what wound up happening, Todd, was there was a black person in the room, as we talked about, who, whether you like him or not, was there to say, we got to protect our self-interest.
Yes,
and when you appoint these 3 white guys, I like Dean. I can't speak for the other 2. They ain't never been no champions. Was Don Harmon a champion for you?
No.
Nah. No. What's his black street cred?
Look,
You know what? Let's talk about it when we come back.
Okay.
It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
So, what's Don Harmon's record of support for black people?
Oak Park is as white as you get. I mean, that's the truth.
What's Bob Martwick's record of support for black people?
I really can't speak on Bob.
So that should tell you something, though.
Yeah, maybe that's
You can't speak on him. So you can't. He ain't got no record.
he comes after me. I wasn't paying that much attention at that point when he came in.
Oh my God.
But Oak Park has never been able to support the black people who run in that area. So let's say the state rep is a Democrat and they're running in Oak Park. If a white person, and they're already in the seat. If a white person runs, they lose it. The only reason the reps would win is because they could carry 29 board, 37 board, stuff like that. Oak Park has never really, as I've seen it, been friendly to black people. We're not smart enough for them.
So,
Well, that was my personal opinion.
Todd, how though does this happen? I really need to understand, how does she appoint 3 white guys to think about this. As Kim Foxx is under assault, the people she's gonna need are judges. Because the police are working against her. Did Marilyn Mosby win re-election? Or was she like the superstar prosecutor that got banged out too?
Where was she from?
Remember Marilyn Mosby from?
This TDJ thing
Mhm.
may not work because doing it over our phone system right now is static. They've been working on it for 2 days now. So it's Titus is still trying to work on it.
So see, they're doing the same tactics that they did to Marilyn Mosby right now. Do I have any information on this guy? Am I doing an interview right now?
Oh, okay, fine.
Am I doing an interview?
That 820 yes ain't here. He is not here. I'm about to call his people.
Did you reach C?
Well, the guy that was setting it up, who Tamil was setting it up to was real call.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Take a moment. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Yeah, Camille Lilly is the rep for State Park for Oak Park, but she's part rep. So is LaShawn Ford, and so what they did, William, was chop it up so that it wouldn't be so heavily reliant on one portion of Oak Park. So yeah, she represents, but they split that sucker up. Okay, good for Maryland. Oh, good. Did she have a competitor? Watson's go to Birmingham. Wardell, Julius Clark, actor, director, producer, Timeline Theater Company. I got it. Take a moment, share the broadcast, y'all. What up, Cole Ray?
The WVON lineup, chat room, blogs, photos, podcasts, and more on the World Wide Web at WVON.com.
Baby. Baby, what's your phone number? What's your phone number? Seven 9311. All right. 777-9311. Come on. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Taj Stroger. Todd, what you know about 8675309?
That's 777-9311.
777-9311. 79311.
This album was produced by Jamie Starr.
Jamie, what you know about Jamie Starr?
Man, I know more than you know.
No, not about Prince.
You're right about that.
I was like, you don't know.
I'm not that deep into it.
Right.
I know a lot of stuff.
Come on. The time, y'all. It's the WVON morning show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. You remember when Morris Day used to be like, oh!
Yeah.
I used to want to be like, then I'd be like, Jungle Love, oh we, and I could do the bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were actually the most entertaining thing about the movie, to be honest with you.
You sound crazy, man. That was the greatest movie of all time. That is literally my favorite.
No,
movie.
I mean, when Prince sings, I mean, that's it. But I just mean as personality.
Oh, now, Morris Day did steal the show.
Yeah.
He was like, when old girl was like, Morris, I waited for you all night. and then he threw it in the garbage can. Do y'all understand what would happen these days? Like I wouldn't be surprised if they ban. Are they gonna ban Purple Rain because of You know what? Let me go to the phone lines, y'all. There's a lot going on. Political power. I don't understand what's going on, but let me do this. Let me go to Brother Ball. Brother Ball, you on the Talk Chicago 1690. What's up, man? Line 2, Brother Ball. Gone. Going. Let's go to the real Mike O'Connor.
Hey, good morning, Maze. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, Mike.
I got a late start this morning, but I thought I heard you say that Tony Prankwinkle, President Prankwinkle, did not think of one African American that she could put on the Judicial Committee.
You're right.
Did I hear you say that this morning?
You are correct.
You know what? Let me just say, my father, who died in '96, taught me wisdom that was not in books. I try to be around people who are old enough because of that type of wisdom, like Timmy Black and other people. Clearly, I was taught that just because you look like me, you are not in my best interest. What I'm hearing you tell me is one of the reasons why working class and as far as economically disadvantaged Chicagoans made sure that she could not win a precinct in her own ward where she lived at. Just because you look like me, you are not in my best interest. Now, everybody with common sense know that Neville Scott was the only dissenting voice of all the craziness concerning these lawsuits that are brought far as into play to try to make us make us slaves again. And it's really hard to try to have a coalition with people who look like you, who clearly are not in your best political interest. I hope that Dorothy Tillman, who called up on this radio station every day the Lord allowed to support Tony Prankwinkle and telling us as listeners that we would be, that she can talk to her. She need to talk to her again because this is outrageous. This is really outrageous. We got our backs up against the wall here in the state of Illinois politically, judicially, and you're telling me Don Harmon don't have no street cred. He's a retired state rep who they almost put out over on the west side in Oak Park, who sees Negroes as a cursory residence in his state rep, in his district. Now, I know a little about politics because I was going back and forth to Springfield on a volunteer basis. But to hear that the Cook County Board president couldn't find one Negro to put on that committee, that's not
unconscionable.
An excuse for that.
Unconscionable.
Period.
Man.
And that's my comment for today.
Oh.
It's a shame.
Thank you. Let's go to Marlo. Marlo, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Yes, I almost echo the sentiments of the previous caller. I mean, one of the things is this, black people, and you just mentioned this about blacks in the Democratic Party, we are the most loyal voters that you will ever see. But at the same time, black people do know that, when it's wet and raining outside, put up an umbrella. And they can clearly see when you have their best interests at heart. And what I think is that this is symptomatic of the fact that Tony Preckwinkle never really connected with black people. And she had 8 years to do so as the county board president. And what you're seeing now is symptomatic of why exactly black people have decided to go with something new in the city of Chicago rather than sign on to a continuation of her as mayor as opposed to staying where she is.
Thanks, Marlo. I appreciate it. Y'all, I keep trying to get to this marijuana thing, and I'm going to try and get to it after the break, but I do feel like, guys, if you don't believe that there is a systematic process to dismantle us, you don't think that there's a concerted effort to dismantle what we have right now, you all are sadly mistaken. And it's happening to us in a slow moving car crash. The fact that, you know what, Titus, do me one favor. I just want you to play that pair of shuts clip again. The clip, because at the same time, if this is really true, and I want to get Tony Preckwinkle in the WVON, on the WVON morning show. I'm sure they're going to be trying to go around. But let's get him right here on the morning show, because I want to have these rumors addressed. Play that back again, because if that's not the case, we can't have people out here setting this up. Go ahead.
Was supporting her again. I've heard rumors that perhaps Tony Preckwinkle, who wants to have an influence on this office, might be looking for someone else to run for that office, or perhaps King Fox isn't going to run again. Franz Spielman of the Sun-Times asked Joe Ferguson, the IG, whether he would run for state's attorney. He didn't answer that question.
Let me ask you a question, Todd. And I think I asked you this earlier. Is it possible, is it any way possible that Tony Preckwinkle could be trying to engineer someone else going into that state's attorney spot? Is that realistic?
Yes, it's possible. It's very realistic. People, this is politics. So when people see people, hey, I'll take me for example. When people saw that I could never get any positive press, they just kind of backed away. They didn't say, we're not for you. They just kind of disappeared, in the shadow. Like, hey, I thought you were behind me. But there was
Way
no
back.
behind you. You couldn't see him anymore. So yeah, it's very possible.
All right, y'all. We're going to talk about it more when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the.
So, what you want to know why too, Daryl? Brother Stiff. Thank y'all for making the jump from each time that this sucker done closed off. Did anybody see Homecoming? They used the E wrong in Homecoming, just for the record.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's the Beyonce movie. It's not a E is not a Sigma is not an E, it's an S.
Epsilon.
Is an E. How many of you all can name the books of the Bible? I'm gonna just do the I could do the I don't think I can remember all the Old Testament.
You can't name the books in the Bible.
You can't. I could do I think I can still do the New Testament. I can jump in Joseph. Let's see. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 3 Johns, Jude, Revelation. I bet that's right.
That's the New Testament?
Mm-hmm. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, that's the Gospels.
I believe you. I'm not that religious.
Y'all ain't ready. Math. Y'all we should sing. Gee, I'm going to do one day I'm going to do all the, because I'm getting fired up. It's Easter time. And so Easter is when you sing all the songs, right? And you get the, all, you don't know all the church songs from? I used to do the, I used to be in all the church plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do the Easter play.
You sound like my wife. She was in all the plays.
I was the star of the plays.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look at that. The pastor's son, the star. Who would have thought?
Well, that's because I couldn't be in the choir.
So he couldn't sing, but hey. Yeah, no, I don't know all the Easter songs. But Easter is actually the greatest holiday for Christians, or at least it should be. I mean, Christmas gets a lot of celebration and stuff, but this whole resurrection story is without that, there's nothing. So Easter is the greatest holiday. And I forgot about Passover being at the same time. Right. Passover.
So what we gonna do
So there was a Seder.
about TD Jakes? Well, huh? We good?
We don't know what we're going to do yet.
What you doing?
What we doing about
Stretching?
TD Jakes?
He's still checking. He's been trying to call Todd because he don't understand. Todd, I'll tell him sometimes.
Todd probably went to Jamaica.
Yeah, he was in the Bahamas yesterday, so he might be on the plane right now.
Okay. Yeah. So they had the same issue.
So then you need to call them and let them know and see if there's a way we can reschedule, because I think that's a big.
Yeah, I want to see what he's gonna tell me, because he's still trying to figure it out. So if you tell me something before this happens, then I'm gonna have to call them and.
Tell me something good. Tell me that you like it, yeah. So, y'all know that the conversation on marijuana, on cannabis, has changed. And I want you.
You gotta reschedule because we gotta wait for the IT guy.
Okay, so just could you please, I want to keep that though.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Tanil, we gotta send what I think all those teens downtown need to have something to do in their neighborhood. What up, Etiquette D? I don't know you, but welcome to the broadcast. What's up, Tiger Lily? What up, Sheila? Titus, see if you can find Beyonce singing. See if you can find Beyonce singing the Black National Anthem on Tidal. I can give it to you if you need it. Lift it. You got no? Just go ahead. We'll do it for tomorrow. Have you read the cannabis bill, girl? Have you read it? Because they do have the set-asides in it. It's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff to work with. The key is, are we in a position to take advantage of it? I would tell you that we are oftentimes in the, we are not in the money fight. We're not in the economic fight. We are in the, what did I say? How did I phrase it? Emotions over economics right now is what I was saying in the pop business. Let's post it on the site. I'll send it to you tomorrow or tonight later on. Yes, it is published. The first version of it. Now they gotta tweak it, but the stuff that we're talking about is in it. It's just how do we get to it. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. She makes me feel alright. And when I'm feeling low, oh, whoa, whoa, do you think about me, Mary Jane? Won't you play no game? Hey, hey, hey. Mary Jane, the same. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's the only one. Mary likes to have fun. Abe lived to do you love me, Mary Jane? Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you think you love me, Mary Jane. Don't you play no game. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. You are tuned in to the Top Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger, y'all. And we are talking about Mary Jane. You know what, Mary Jane? If you want to know about Mary Jane in Illinois, it is called SB7. That is called Senate Bill 7. And it is the amend... Oh, well, they haven't got the number yet. All right, so it's SB7, Todd. And basically, the bill to legalize cannabis in Illinois is on the fast track. So I had a chance to preliminarily review the bill. And here are the key components that I saw in the bill. The ability to grow cannabis. There's the ability to transport it, to dispense it, and then to produce it. Additionally, they have an incubator program. They are going to create specific zones that are protected zones for economically deprived areas. Breed black people. And then they are also going to have a craft grow program for people to have small opportunities to grow cannabis in their own facilities. I think it's less than 3,000 square feet. Now, you can put a lot of cannabis in 3,000 square feet growing inside.
Yeah, that's a pretty big house.
But Todd, I am concerned now that as I look at the bill, black folks are focused on emotions, not economics.
That good old emotional thing getting in the way.
So let me break it down for you. So do you know that in Illinois in the last month there was one $850 million transaction where a local company was bought by a major company, and then there was another $1 billion transaction where Harvest and Verano merged. Cresco, which is the largest, bought Origin House. So the business is being consolidated. Like the favelas are being consolidated in some way, shapes, or forms. Because when Illinois opens up, it's going to open up a floodgate.
Oh, yes.
But Todd, I'm concerned that whenever these opportunities come about, black folks become victims, not victors. That people play on our emotions as compared to the economics. So Todd, with this burgeoning industry breaking loose, it seems to me that black people are focused in the wrong space. When I read this bill, the conversation has moved from medicine to enjoyment. The opportunity to the explosion of opportunity is not going to come from medical cannabis. The explosion of opportunity is not going to come from it seems to me that are we putting together investment groups?
Oh man, you just named the biggest problem that black people have, in my opinion, over anything.
What?
We don't put together investment groups. We should be in everything, but the only way to do it is pool your money together.
But see, Todd, the problem is right now we're not talking about investment groups. What we're talking about is emotional criminal justice, blah, 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 blah. And how can we, like, if the meetings are not revolving around putting a number together and getting it, because here's the thing. Right now, the way this, like, they could drop the cost of the licenses down to $10,000. But do you know what it costs to build a grow facility?
How much?
At least $3 million. At least.
A lot of money.
Right? What are our conversations being built around? You know, I was, Todd, I have to be judicious in the things that I talk about and the things that I share, because oftentimes people assume that there is a level of credibility when we share it or when we talk about it. And right now, my concern is that our people are being not directed to the water. Remember I was talking about fool's gold?
Yep.
Right now, I'm not sure if we are really preparing to take advantage of the opportunity or take advantage of the people who want to take advantage of the opportunity. I have been invited to meetings, I've gone to events, and every time I go to these events, I see two sets of people. The people that are talking and the people that are getting paid. And usually the people that are getting paid are paying the people to talk. But I don't know if we are talking about the economics. So let me just tell you, Todd, who do we have prepared to build a grow facility? Who has $3 to $10 million ready to put in everything that it will be required? Do you know it's 24-hour monitoring by the state police?
The Rands, maybe?
Okay, so I would give you the Rands. I would tell you that the old money. But who are the new money black people that are putting together? Because let's just say this. The old money black folks, they probably just buy into somebody's. And the old money black folks have been kind of pushed. They've been kind of leery about getting into this business. But when I think about my generation and the opportunity to create wealth, who amongst us is going to take on the ability or the responsibility of raising the funds to build a grow facility? But you got to understand that these other companies that are pushing us out here have no interest in us having a grow company.
Of course.
They want you to advocate, but they don't want you to get part of the economics. So when I go to these meetings and they talking to me about everything but the path to ownership, right? Who's got the transportation facility? Who's got the trucks? Who's right now making arrangements to buy trucks? Are we meeting about who's going to buy the trucks to distribute because you have to have a certified company to do that. Seems like if there were black owned, if they created these zones, seems like there would be an opportunity for somebody to create a black owned shipping company that focuses specifically on transporting marijuana. Who is but who is putting together the investment group to buy the machines and the products to produce the oils and the, right?
Right.
Who's buying the machines so that, who's saying that we'll sell Mama D's Bakery so Abundance Bakery can now start selling edibles? Who amongst us is talking about that? So when these companies bring you to a room, they are preparing you to be consumers. They are not preparing you to be owners. They are not preparing you to be competition. And so when you ask me, when you tell me that Todd, I hate to be part of the okie doke. Right? So when I see my guys, because, back in the day, I used to be down in Springfield all the time. And we used to always find the advocacy groups and the people, and we would always put them up in front of the legislators. And then once we put them on the bus back home, guess what we did? Collected the money.
Yeah.
Look, y'all, we'll talk about it all when we come back to Talk Chicago 1690.
Yeah.
So, like I feel like weed is right now a network marketing thing where people are saying, come to this and we'll teach you how you too can participate. And then you talk like, what are we really doing around the cannabis issue? I want to be part of the investment group.
You're right. We are consumers, and we've been doing like.
And they're creating more consumers. Who is talking about stock offerings? Are we meeting about what our economic piece of this is going to be? Or are we going to be focused on criminal justice? We got criminal justice advocates to do that. So, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you pay to advocate. You get paid to advocate. And I don't want to guide my people to a place. I don't want to put you in the meat grinder. Let me just put it that way. When I know that the meat is being ground, I'm very leery about putting people in the meat grinder. Feeding the white beast. Money, economics. Is anybody talking about where the money is and how to access it? Because can I tell you what is happening right now? The white people are meeting about raising the money and the capital to buy shares. Are people providing us opportunities to buy shares, to open the doors, to get into these companies? I don't know. But again, if I see you telling me about the benefits, but you can't tell me about how I could participate in getting the benefits, then I gotta ask questions. Right. So again, are we meeting with these companies and they're saying, okay, I'm gonna buy your product so that I can infuse it? Like, are we putting people together to make us money? Actually, Reddy, there are companies here, major acquisitions and companies coming here, and quite frankly, because of the criminal justice issue, there are opportunities. What I don't want to do is be pimped for the opportunity, and be in the press release, and then not in the disbursements, right?
My dad always used to say, "Do you have equity in this?"
Yes.
You know, equity is just what it's about. You can't grow unless you have equity. Not really grow. It's hard to help.
Is this
you.
me now? You got something in the background. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger. Ty, you know what? I went to Kim Fox's fundraiser 2 days ago, and while I was drinking my Stella and letting them eat cake,
You're so hip.
I also ran into State Senator and former Illini and good friend Toy Hutchinson. And she had just passed the treasurer's bill to allow the banking of marijuana dollars in Illinois because it's illegal to put the money in the bank.
Ah.
But you know what it got me to thinking about again? The money. Right? And I've watched all of these big companies rotating around in our community, and now they are, as this thing moves forward, the biggest chunk of this issue, of this legal marijuana cannabis issue, is the economic and social justice issue of it. Mm-hmm. If you look around the country, black caucuses around the country are holding up the legalization. They are holding up white people from becoming billionaires until they can ensure that black people are participating. And so what white folks are trying to do is trying to find out, what can I do the least of to get the most bang for my buck?
Right.
And so what they're doing is they are understanding that we want to participate. Oftentimes, we are happy. We're happy for the scraps. We're happy to be the guy instead of saying, no, we got money and we don't want you to give us just this little piece. We want to buy our equity stake.
Yes.
So when people say we come into an event, now, at this stage, we need to stop being pontificating. We need to be getting money up. Like, we need to be getting our money up and together and identifying who, what, where, when, and how this money is coming into our market. And even if you're not going to be a distributor, you have the opportunity to buy shares and to buy stock. If you're not going to be in the weed business, maybe you're going to be a grower. Maybe you're going to be in transportation. But the time of meeting to meet to make white folks, so white folks can take pictures and be like, see?
Yes.
The black people love what we doing.
Yeah.
I'm not with it. I'm not with it. And when I saw this bill and I read the actual bill, I said, here are the opportunities that we can take advantage of. And I'm asking, are we having those meetings? Are we sitting down, breaking down the law and saying, here is where we can enter, here is what we can do, this is it, and give us this?
Yes.
No, that's not what we're doing.
No, we're not. That's what we should do.
We're going to be having a party. We are going to celebrate that we can smoke in public, or not in public, in your crib, and that you can buy. And guess what we're going to do? Buy from the Arab corner store. Because we're not being focused on what is happening now. Like, first of all, the white folks are already down the path. They done put their 2050. White guys took a $14 million investment and turned it into $1 billion. We still meeting the meat to meat.
Yes.
Todd, I'm telling you now that we have got to stop being black lollipops. You answering the phone on the morning show?
Oh, can't you hear something?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear. It's something in the background. I think it's
Okay.
text. Look, y'all, but you know what? I gotta go. Because we done ran out of time. I've been on the soapbox too long, Todd.
Yeah, that's all right. It was a good rant.
So look, check this out. For Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. For Titus, he's at the Wheels of Steel. For Sonia Tompkins, who is trying to figure out my TD Jakes interview, I got my man Ty Stroger. Y'all, look. We landing this plane because we was way up high and we coming down. But if we gonna stay high, we gotta do more than just come to the party. We got to throw the party. We got to get a cut from the party.
Yes.
And if all we talking about is a party, then that ain't where we need to be. That ain't what's in it for the black people. Look, a lot of people ain't gonna like what I said today, but it's okay. Because if you don't like it, you can still tell them. May said, we'll be back tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah, I was like, there's something in my ear. What is that? Who's that talking?
I think Titus has something playing underneath.
Oh.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. I ain't for the sending people off and sending them down the path. If I'm gonna bring you somewhere now, like now if we just come in to smoke, then let's just come and smoke. But I'm just telling you that this discussion now, medical is over. Like, no one's talking about medical right now. Like, that's what they're giving us as a distraction. But the conversation has moved away from medical. Everybody that's got medical is like, we don't have to have this conversation no more, because they got 180 days and $15,000, and then they can convert their medical facilities into legal facilities. They're not trying to be medical.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, yeah, most people are now, the law now allows you within 180 days, if that bill passes, to convert your medical place to a legal place.
I think that's a bad idea.
I don't think it's a bad idea, because if you invested $30 million in building a freaking facility and you got to do all this stuff, and then they open up, they're giving those
Yeah,
people.
But isn't medical marijuana